All right, what's going on YouTube? So we got the FRS in the garage today. We've got a pretty gnarly exhaust leak. Inside the cabin, it doesn't sound all that bad, but my wife drove it down the street and you could hear it. It sounds awful. We do have an unequal length aftermarket header on it. With these, the overpipe tends to leak a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to find out where exactly the leak's coming from. So I'm going to jack up my car. Once I get it up on jack stands, I'm going to get the undercover off, and then from there we'll reconvene with the video. All right, so I got the car jacked up. Got the panel off down there. As you can see, it's an easy way to see. You can just look down. It's not there. So what we did, went ahead and pulled the vacuum line off the brake booster here. Poured some Seafoam in it. Turned the car over so it would get pulled into the cylinders. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this set for about 15 minutes or so. Once it sets, we will then start the car. I'll open the garage door, and then what we can do is look up underneath and see where there's smoke coming out from, because when Seafoam runs through the system and it breaks down carbon, it will then burn it off and it's white. So we'll see what happens there. If we get a bunch of smoke out of the exhaust and we can't find it, what we'll do is we'll then add Seafoam to the engine again. We'll just cover up the exhaust. We can just block those off real quick. It's not going to cause any real issues if we're only going to run it for a couple of seconds to see where it's coming out of. So we'll reconvene when we go ahead and start it. Yep. All right, so one thing I wanted to cover was when we did the Seafoam trick, it really didn't work that great. It didn't work and blow as much smoke as I would have expected it to. Maybe there's just less carbon buildup. Maybe it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. But what I did notice was over here on this side, right near this up pipe here was where it was, or over pipe rather, is where it was smoking from. I did want to kind of touch on that. It didn't work the way I wanted it to. It might work a little bit better for you, but we'll go on with the video. All right, so here's our gaskets. As you can see, it was leaking there on the back side. Same thing here. These are some Felpro gaskets that I got from a local auto parts store. They're not that great. What I'm going to do, and CX Racing recommends this on their turbo kits. I mean, this is a CNT header, so it's nothing with a really, really great quality control. I mean, I don't have any real issues with it, but just to make sure, we're going to use this copper gasket on the flanges here and the other one that goes to the overpipe. So we're going to give this a shot. Mind you, this is what CX Racing requests, or recommends rather, to do on their turbo kits, and I'm sure there's other manufacturers that do as well. So we're going to try this and see how. All right, guys, so here we are. We're under the car. So as you can see, there's a little bit of gasket material coming out. The recommendations are put it on there and then snug it up. So right here, it's just snug to the point where the gasket material is coming out. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to let it set for about an hour, and then we're going to go ahead and torque it down to spec. So once we torque it, it says to wait 24 hours before you put it into usage. I mean, that's their recommendation. It's probably not going to set that long. It'll probably set for another couple hours, just to let it kind of seal up, and then I'll take it out for a drive and see how it is. All right, so we got the exhaust sealed back up. Everything's on it, set for about 12 hours. So as you can hear, the exhaust leak is fixed. All right, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to follow up. The last clip didn't really explain a lot. So what I did was I took the header off and used a gasket maker material, which is like a copper gasket. What I used was this stuff right here, Ultra Copper. I think it was like $8. It's cheap. So what I did was I pulled it off, took these gaskets off, and took the overpipe gasket off as well, and then replaced all of that with those. I used about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Same thing on both of the flanges for the exhaust where it comes off of the heads. Same thing on the overpipe. Snugged it down, gave it an hour, tightened it up. From there, it was actually the same night. I took it out for a drive about an hour and a half later. It was fine, no leakage. That video was from the next day, which was about 12 to 14 hours later. Drove the car around all day yesterday. So, I mean, all day, I mean, it was like 4 or 5 hours of driving. Probably, I don't know, did maybe 100 miles yesterday. No issues. I do have the burble tune on as well. So when you lift off, it does pop and bang a little bit. Seemed to hold up pretty well to that. No issues, no leaks. I do recommend it. You can buy, I think Grimspeed has a gasket kit, which is, I think it's like $50 for both of the gaskets that come off of the heads and the overpipe gasket. This will work as well. If something goes wrong and they happen to blow, or I end up having to do it again, I'll post another video on it. But if they start leaking, I'll probably just buy the Grimspeed kit and just do that. So overall, I recommend it. It wasn't too hard. I mean, it probably cost me like 3 hours, which is fine because it gets really, really annoying driving and hearing exhaust leak. And I've had that issue with those since I bought the header. The header gaskets were okay. Took them off, was going to return the car to stock. Had those laying around, put those on, which those were brand new. Same issue. So definitely recommend this if you're having issues with the Scion, FRS, the 8.6, or the BRZ platform. So just give it a shot. If you have questions about it, just leave a comment in the bottom. If you have done this and it works, leave a comment. One thing I'd like to say is, I do like to continue to upload some videos and just kind of show you some tips and tricks of stuff I've learned and some of my ideas and what I plan on doing with the car, as well as just kind of other things, other videos. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't mind subscribing, subscribe. Right now I'm uploading every Saturday, so you'll have FRS content. I have some Jetta content coming up with my wife's car. I'm waiting on some parts to come in for that. And then I'll be doing some other like list type videos, just my personal opinion. So definitely subscribe. Do have some videos coming, some entertainment. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, thumbs down. Just go ahead and leave a comment if you didn't like it and say why. Maybe I can try to improve and give you guys some better content. Other than that, guys, appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching my video. Y'all have fun and stay safe.